Welcome to TARTLEcast with your hosts Alexander McKegg and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path.
I can't do the dolphin noise. I tried.
Yeah, I can't do it either. Yeah.
That noise kills me, dude.
I know, yeah.
It is so funny.
But their language is more complicated than ours.
So, that, now here's the bridge. It's like, we look at them as like, ooh, a fish.
Yeah.
Well, that's not technically, it's a mammal.
Right.
Which is interesting. You ever swam with a dolphin?
Yeah, I did kind of like there was a wild dolphin and it was kind of just checking me out a little bit. Kind of freaks you out because it's kind of big and it's big. But I know that it's not going to hurt me. So
no, they're intelligent enough to recognize that you are not a threat to them.
Right.
And that you're also a mammal.
Yeah.
They're pretty good about that. But dolphins, I was lucky to actually swim with dolphins, holding onto their fin and stuff. And they're extremely communicative.
Right.
And they look at you. Like there's like, hey, I'm going to make direct eye contact with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're going to know that we're having a communication.
Well, I think in certain areas they have a higher intelligence than we do as humans.
Well, if you put a dolphin on the street with legs and arms, and just because it's not speaking, the thing's extremely intelligent.
Dude, it would take over Wall Street.
It would probably take over Wall Street. Yeah.
You'd be like,
yeah. The
sitting in a boardroom,
like,
it's slapping people with its fin.
Wake up.
Yeah.
No, but
go close this deal.
They have a great language.
Yeah.
Even though we do a poor job of understanding it,
Right.
70% of this globe is like water.
Yeah.
Much like our body.
Yeah.
So imagine having to come up with an efficient form of communication without the internet. What travels very far and how do you recognize that? What moves well through, liquid medium? Oh, sound waves. Click, click, click.
Yes.
And they are good at sending that message, receiving it. And every single one has their own tone, right? Like we have our own dialect. So there's an interesting article we have here. It's called, Dr. Doolittle?
Dr. Doolittle Machines, how AI, and this was in newscientist.com, how AI is helping us talk to the animals.
Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to observe so much ocean data like those noises. If you put a microphone, just drop it in the ocean, you'd be surprised to really hear what's going on. There's a lot of movement happening, crabs on the ocean floor, sea flora and fauna, dolphins, whales, fish, everything's doing like their own thing, but they're all communicating. Mm-hmm. And so they have their own way of isolating, those frequencies, what works for them and understanding that language. Oh, that was German, that was whale talk, whatever it might be. So we need to observe that. And once it can be observed in many different areas, there's very efficient algorithms now, especially like ones that are used for learning applications, even like you find like Rosetta Stone. It does a very good job, and I use it, of listening to me responding to something that says, oh, that was a good job at pronouncing that, or that was a very poor job. But what it had to do is it needed a lot of input beforehand from very native speakers to then compare it to me. So what it's doing is it's taking all this native input from all these sea animals, and it's saying, oh, this is native, this might not be non-native to this area. And after it's done that, it can start to put them in certain buckets. And then the analysis can happen. So then we can understand, okay, is this animal in stress? Is it not in stress? Is it mating? Is it not mating? What else, whatever is going on? Are they saying, oh, we need to get together? Oh, there's a threat in this area. Then we can listen to that communication. And that's where this Dr. Doolittle AI machine comes in.
Yeah, and this is really interesting. It's pattern-seeking artificial intelligence. And so it's just having to decode, like you said, it's just taking mass amounts of information. So if you can imagine, marine biologists implementing these microphones and then embedding them onto dolphins, which would happen in a safe manner. And then it would just constantly be recording. It would cut on and off whenever they're speaking, and then it would just take all that data. I mean, imagine if you had 5,000 of these dolphins around the world that were and then this AI does really well. An article talked about this. It's what surprised researchers is how good AI is at understanding language.
Yeah, no, it does a great job, because if we look at language, what's interesting about it is we have, frankly, a set amount of words.
Right.
We have a very specific syntax and grammar.
Right.
We have adjective, verbs, adverbs, nouns, pronouns. Everything's in very specific rule-based buckets.
Yes, which machine learning would love.
And it loves it. So now you give me all these rules
right.
with all the structure, and now all I need is input. and then I can analyze all of those. It's not like saying we have something completely unstructured and we're unsure of what the rules are. We're unsure of how to solve for that X, that unknown. All of those are there. We have all the things. Now it's just a matter of putting them together efficiently and cross-analyzing them.
Yeah, and I just imagine a world where we can communicate with the animals and let them know intent, because they're going to be like, what?
Or we can let them know, hey, there's an oil spill.
Yes.
And when I say that, we could actually put sound back into the water, sonar waves, clicking whatever it might be that says threat in this locality.
Right.
And we can constantly emit it there, and it pushes wildlife away from that area until we can fix the problem that we created.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, when I think about it in us having this, because we always view in our little concrete jungles, we always view nature as separate. Like we go to hike, and we've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
And so now any type of bridge that we can build between nature, any type of bridge that we can build between nature and humanity and use technology to build that bridge.
Yes.
That's the underlaying of it. The cantilever is the technology part. I'm down. And I think more people need to do more research, especially in something like this. Imagine being able to
that sort of bridge building.
Right. I mean, imagine being able to communicate, or if a dolphin would communicate, maybe because they're so highly intelligent, orcas are highly intelligent too. Imagine them being able to communicate saying, we don't like to swim in this area anymore because the water's 1 degree warmer.
Maybe they tell us ahead of time.
We can't give birth.
This feels toxic here for us.
Yes,
we don't want to be
exactly.
here. Or, they can tell us about changes in migratory patterns for other fish.
Or you guys are ripping too many fish out of the water.
Yeah,
we can't eat.
We're hungry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, our biggest thing is we're hungry.
It's so funny.
Can you guys stop eating us?
This is interesting. You don't want your dog to starve.
Yeah.
Or your cat.
Right.
You want to give them food, right?
Well, yeah, we even spend
Why are we not listening to all the other animals that are like 20 times the size saying, guys, hello, you're ruining our food source?
Yeah, and
am I wrong?
Yeah,
am I wrong in how
you're totally right.
Like freaking obvious
that's what I'm saying.
that is?
That's what I'm saying. That bridge between nature and humanity has been. We've just with our creature comforts and our 72 degrees, air conditioning and heaters
and our high consumption lifestyles.
Yes, we want to separate ourselves from. We love to go to the zoo and see them imprisoned.
Ooh, cool! One concrete jungle to the next. But Jason, that's the future.
Yes,
that's the bridge. This article may be a little funny because they coined it Dr. Doolittle, but this is real evolutionary steps in technology.
And this is where AI, and I want people to think, because everybody always thinks Terminator, this is where AI is going to have its greatest potential.
That's precisely correct. And, when people think Terminator, first of all, Skynet, to launch a nuke, you still have to put two people, have to come to an agreement to put a key in the thing and turn it.
Right.
And prime the nukes. You don't put that on the internet. If the internet has a key-driven thing, then we're screwed. Someone put nuclear codes anywhere near online on the internet. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I imagine especially now with all the technology advancement, probably some secret military blockchain. I imagine it's even more than just putting keys in.
Yeah, well,
nowadays, the key is probably
it's probably hand
encryption.
Thing.
Yeah, and all kinds of stuff.
It's a specific guy.
Well, we're gonna rip your eyeball out and show it to the thing.
Yeah, here's a ridiculous
Matrix shit.
Yeah, Blade Runner.
Yeah,
but what's ridiculous about it is if we get to the point when our AI is evolved and we're trying to create world efficiencies, why are you still using nukes?
Right.
This is the disparity that this article is talking about. Is that we've only advanced technology and not ourselves and our communication with nature. We've only advanced technology for technology's sake, but we have not evolved.
Yeah, because, they just introduced wolves back into Colorado.
Yep.
It would be, we're being way far-fetched here, but how about we talk to the deer, the elk, and the wolves?
Why not?
And like in Montana and certain areas in Wyoming and stuff like that, and look at and say, and then have a council. And then from there, as humans, we listen to their input.
Oh, it's the animal council.
Yeah, an animal council. And we listen to their... Yeah. No, we have not took any psychedelics or marijuana.
Yeah, psychotropic.
Even though this article talks about that crazy LSD dude.
Yeah.
John Lilly's, where he had a dolphin in the...
He's filling up his house with water.
Yeah. And then he's got researchers, they did it for a long time, and they're giving the dolphin LSD.
And
then people are taking LSD.
The whole thing's a mess. You can look it up.
Yeah, you have to look that up. It's John Lilly.
You're not wrong, though. But that's the real bridge That's what we need to continue to focus on.
Yeah, and Michael Bronstein at Imperial College in London said this.
Mm-hmm.
This is very hopeful. I love this. I think it's the right time with the right data and with the right expertise to possibly solve this problem.
Yeah. So he thinks it's the right time and it could be possible. So really nothing actionable is happening.
But we have linguistic patterns and we have the ability to be able to process huge amounts of supplied language data.
Yeah.
So we do have that process down.
Yeah. I just wish the guy was like, "Ich weiß es nicht."
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
That would have been like, that's a very reasonable statement, my friend. You know?
Which we're going to be talking about that. Germans and birds.
Yeah. Germans and birds.
And data.
On our next episode. Join us for birding with Tartle.
That's awesome. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you for listening to TartleCast with your hosts Alexander McKegg and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path. What's your data worth?